So we're up to episode 5 of The Last of Us, and it absolutely makes up for the slight dip in quality we had last week. Not only do we get some of the best action scenes yet, there's also some very effective character moments too. And the balance between the big and small moments helps to make it possibly the best episode yet all round. Henry and Sam's story both begins and ends the episode. I was expecting the series to expand their story somewhat, as they weren't in the game for very long. So it was quite surprising that their story wrapped up when it did. Sam being deaf is also a big change from the game. I guess it's to make the character more vulnerable, though you might think that being an 8-year-old kid with leukemia might be quite vulnerable enough, but apparently not. I was worried that it might affect the scenes of his bonding with Ellie, as it was definitely memorable seeing the two kids hanging out together in the game, but I needn't have worried. There was still plenty of time for the two kids to bond before their inevitable tragic separation. I did enjoy the old-fashioned carbon paper notepad they wrote messages to each other on. I distinctly remember having something like that when I was a kid. Probably got it free with an issue of the Bean or something. So that definitely brought back childhood memories for me. I just wish I could remember what it was called, as I'd quite like to buy one for myself again. The other big guest star is Melanie Lynskey as Kathleen, the rebel leader. There is some effort to make her a sympathetic character, as her vendetta against Henry is because he sold her brother out to the feds. But frankly, she's way too obsessive about it, ordering all her men to search the city for him, instead of dealing with the infected, which certainly comes back to bite her in the end, so to speak. The mere fact that she promises her prisoners a fair trial, and then immediately orders them shot, is enough to make it clear that she's a terrible leader, and her regime can't be that much better than whatever it was Federal were doing. The sniping sequence is definitely one of the more memorable levels from the game. It takes quite a while to sneak into the house and take out the sniper, but in the show, Joel makes it look pretty easy. It could have made for a very tense extended sequence, but instead they've made the sniper an old man, which is really the equivalent of playing the game on the easy level. When Joel finally gets the sniper rifle himself, the game gets a lot easier. But in the show, all hell breaks loose, as dozens of infected vomit forth out of the ground in an incredibly spectacular sequence. We also get the first bloater in the show, which looks absolutely terrifying. I seem to remember that in the game you meet the bloater in a school gym, which is a very different situation. Of course, I could be thinking of the sequel, or possibly real life, I can't tell anymore. On top of that, we also get the little kid contortionist clicker, which is yet another piece of nightmare fuel. But it does finish off Kathleen, so it's fine by me. That sequence alone would have made for a very satisfying ending in itself. But sadly there was more to come, as Sam and Henry's tragic ending plays out, much as it does in the game. As soon as we got that shot of Sam just sitting there, facing the window, you just knew he was a goner. And the rest of it follows with a grim inevitability. Like Bill and Frank before them, Henry and Sam's story ends in tragedy. But this time they're too young and they've lived too little for there to be anything positive you can take away from their deaths. And so the episode ends on quite a grim note, as I suspect most of them will. So there's a bit of a break before the next episode. When that comes out, these mini reviews will go back to being published every Thursday. I'll be back here next Monday with my review of Ant-Man 3. So subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Or in the meantime, you could check out the description of this video for a link to the playlist of all my Last of Us videos so far. I'll see you next time.